So the developments in dealing with ill and injured workers over the last 12 months, I think, reinforce those key messages about what employers need to do. The problems in this area are typical. They arise when you have insufficient medical information, when you're trying to return someone to a workplace where they just don't want to be because of outstanding bullying issues or a failure in their eyes to resolve them appropriately, or where you've got a mixture of capacity, absentee, performance, illness issues combined. Our advice in this area remains the same, and I think the cases in this area illustrate it. Really important to get good clinical information from an IME where you have a lawful and reasonable basis to do so. And in many cases that'll be on the grounds of safety concerns about the person's ability to do the role safely or the way that their conduct impacts on their colleagues. Once you've got an IME, you can assess it against the inherent requirements of the role. So those are those essential elements, the building blocks of the substantive role, and you can make a decision about whether someone can perform the inherent requirements of the role. Important also is always to think about whether there's a reason for someone's conduct. Is it a concern because they're vulnerable, because they have some mental health issues? Is that going to explain their conduct? And what do managers need in order to know how to manage that? In many cases, managers might be sympathetic, but they just don't have the tools to understand what that means in having difficult conversations. So there's a role for employers and for HR in having that conversation, talking about it, really doing a risk assessment, I think, on what are the behaviours that are likely to trigger concerns, what do we need to know, what control measures can we put in place, and really getting very good advice early and often as to what you can do in those circumstances.